Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Holly, you know I really like cats, right?
Yeah.
You know what I like just as much?
No.
Really big cats.
Well, you're in the right place. We've got big cats, we've got elephants, we've got zebras, we've got lots of other animals.
Most importantly, we've got an extra seat in the Jeep just for you. Grab your binoculars. We are in Tanzania, headed on safari. So when we were planning our bigger worldwide travels, going on a safari somewhere in Africa was top of the list. We had to go and do this. So our very first shout out goes out to our friend Francis in Fredericton, who helped us plan our itinerary and helped us settle on Tanzania. And a shout out as well to the company he hooked us up with, a small company that does safaris there, Tanzania Safari Bug. Thank you both for putting together what you're going to see was a pretty amazing time.
So we had a 2 a.m. flight out of Doha and arrived early in the morning in Arusha. We were pretty tired at this point. It was kind of a whirlwind in Doha as well. So we had the day at a really nice hotel in Arusha just to chill out by the pool, relax, get rested up for the safari.
So we've got 12 days of travel here lined up in Tanzania. We're going to see so much, as you will see, and cover about 1,800 kilometers. So for a little bit of context, here's a few maps for you, and I've labeled some of our destinations we've got coming up. In this episode, we're just going to cover items 1 and 2. We're going to get into Tarangire National Park for some game drives, and then up to Lake Manyara as well for some game drives there.
Our first stop was Tarangire National Park. We soon realized the roads are going to be crazy, and our second big shout out to Eric, our driver, who was fantastic, who was really good at navigating the roads, knew all the places to go to see the animals, and was super patient with us being kind of first-time safari goers and not sure what was going on. This was a really interesting part. I didn't realize it would be so rough, I think, in the woods and stuff and on the trails, but I think having grown up the way we did, we were used to this, and it's a pretty rough ride. You know, you kind of get what they call the African massage.
So just after we get in through the gates into Tarangire National Park, we rolled up to a watering hole, and I think this is where it first dawned on me, holy cow, we're on safari, look at all these animals. So we had a mix of wildebeests and zebras and warthogs, and the day just went on from there. So we'll put together a little montage for you here of days 1 and 2 in Tarangire National Park. My favorite animals here were probably the elephants, how close they got to the Jeep. They were truly magnificent. I wouldn't say I enjoyed the ostrich. The ostriches scared the heck out of me. I didn't realize they were actually that huge. They're kind of terrifying. And my other favorite was the warthogs, because they just look like they're made out of all the spare parts. Let's give it a mane, let's give it tusks, let's give it little tiny legs. They're a riot.
I think a big highlight for both of us was getting to see the lionesses hunting. They were hunting a small antelope, and it's pretty uncommon in the day when it's hot for them to do much more than lay around. So this was pretty neat. There's 2 of them, and they work together. It was neat to see that, as well as how they used the Jeeps to kind of camouflage themselves as they were trying to get a little bit closer. So they're definitely very used to Jeeps, and they've learned to use them to their advantage.
The antelope did make an escape, but nonetheless, it was fun to see how the two lionesses worked together to close in on it and have a little hunt. Now, my mom was curious about all the logistics of going on safari, including what were your accommodations like. So a little tour here of our tented lodge that we had our first couple of nights. Our accommodations throughout were either tented lodges like this or more sort of hotel style accommodation. And then typically accommodated with dinner being some sort of buffet style, whether it was served to your table or whether you went up and served yourself. But really nice accommodations and amenities throughout the safari. No complaints for sure.
Our next park was Lake Manyara. This was pretty cool. It was, again, very different. It was pretty densely forested compared to the other stuff we did the other 2 days. As well, it's a bit of a shorter day, only because there's a bit of a smaller route in that a couple of years ago there was massive landslide. So much dirt went into the water and the lake that actually raised the level of the lake, so that a lot of the roads for the game drive are now impassable. And so there's only kind of one main road through, and you can't see a lot just because of the dense forest. But we did see our first hippo. As well, we saw tons of baboons. So again, and it was really pretty in there. So again, a really kind of different day, and we saw some new animals.
Now, because we had a shorter game drive, that gave us some time in the afternoon for a guided tour with another guide of the village of Matoa Mabu. And he took us through and talked a lot about their local economy, which is based a lot on bananas. So he took us through the banana farm there, and we saw some of them getting loaded into the trucks to head to market. We also stopped for some banana wine and some banana beer, which was not quite my favorite beer, but it was very interesting to taste. And finally, we stopped by a local woodcarver workshop where they were making elephant carvings and so on, and working with really hard woods like ebony and rosewood. I do a little bit of wood carving, but it's with softer, easier woods like basswood. So it was neat to have a little chat with them, see some of their homemade tools that they used to do their wood carvings. So we're going to hit pause here for this episode. We hope you've enjoyed your first few days on safari. We were on safari for a total of 12 days. We took so many photos and videos. We've got to split this one up. Where do we get to next time?
Next up, we're going to the Serengeti. So this is different again, and this is where we see the big herds of wildebeests, zebras, and again, more big cats.
We'll see you there soon. Stick around.